Welcome back, everybody, to another wonderful episode of the Any Given Day podcast. I'm Zach. That's Hunter. We're going to start it off today with a list of the College Football Hall of Fame candidates this year.
Some of them.
Some of the bigger names.
Not all of them. There's some of the bigger names.
There's a lot.
Yeah. I mean, you got to start off with, obviously, when it comes to the coaches, one of the big ones to come out is obviously Nick Saban, and then Urban Meyer with him, which I think they're both going to get in first try. I'd be shocked if they didn't. Maybe Urban Meyer doesn't get in first try solely because of the ending of some of the things. Not ending of some of the things, but some of the things that have come since then about how he handled certain aspects of programs. Just thought.
Yeah.
You good?
Yeah. I was just waiting on you to keep talking. I said, yeah.
Oh.
What did you say? Did you say something to me?
No, I was just like, I asked if you were good. That's all. I was just like, I didn't know if you had anything else you wanted to say, like about time.
No.
I don't know.
No, I agree.
Okay. And then when let's just redo that. I don't know. That just felt off.
Good.
Shake all the crap out right now. Okay.
You starting over from the very beginning?
No, just give me a second. I'll shoot out the Football Hall of Fame stuff. I'm just trying to figure out a way to say it. Actually, you should. Unless you want to shoot it off again, and then you shoot it off again, and then I can go into the names and everything.
Yeah, that's
like
fine.
You just respond, like I can list off the names, and then you can be like, "Oh yeah," or maybe not this year. Who knows? How's that sound?
That's fine with me.
Yeah. I'm probably I've got some things to say afterwards about it. Lots come out that I didn't know, but you've got certain people who you would think should be eligible but aren't going to be eligible for the College Football Hall of Fame. Obviously, like Mike Leach and
Right.
Stetson Bennett.
Right.
So I'm good, whatever. I'm sorry for taking us off the course.
You're good. Welcome back to another wonderful episode of the Any Given Day podcast. I'm Zach. That's Hunter. We're going to hop right into today with the names of some of the College Football Hall of Fame candidates for this year. Some of them will make it, some of them won't. These are some of the bigger names. It's not everybody, though.
Mm-hmm. Yes, because you've got just in the FBS alone, you've got 77 players and 9 coaches being nominated. That's not even getting into the divisional ranks like D2, D1, AA, D3, and I think maybe even NAIA. I'm not entirely sure. I'll still have to look that up a little bit more, but yeah, those divisional ranks, they've got over 100 players and 34 coaches up for nomination. But like the big name, obviously, that everyone's seen and heard is Nick Saban is obviously up. He's more than likely going to be first ballot. I don't know why he wouldn't be. He's going to get enshrined. The other coaching name, I don't think there's anything else you can really say. It's Nick Saban. You know, he's the GOAT for a reason.
Right.
The other big coaching name to me that I think has the best chance of getting in is Urban Meyer. I don't know your thoughts on him. I know he's had questionable ways of handling players in the past, but success doesn't lie, so I could see that.
Yeah. I mean, the only thing that could keep him out would be stuff that's come out recently about Florida, when he was at Florida, and some other stuff, some of the off the field stuff. On the field, he's probably one of the best to ever do it on the field. So, like, if we're just looking on the field, he's pretty good. But off the field, there's definitely some baggage there. So
yeah. A name I didn't put on because I wasn't entirely sure. I think he'll eventually get in. I'm not sure if he'll get in this year because obviously there's a limit. But Tommy Tuberville is also up this year for the Hall of Fame. So I don't know if he'll get in this year, but we'll see. The first big name that I saw, though, on this list for the players was Michael Vick. Obviously, quarterback, Virginia Tech.
yeah,
Dude was electric, right? He just, what's there to say, you know?
I mean, like you said, I mean he was electric. There really isn't much more to say. He was just electric. So
I wonder though if he'll get in first ballot. Maybe I don't know about that, but you know who's someone who probably will get in first ballot? Sean Taylor.
Sean Taylor, yeah.
R.I.P.
R.I.P. Yeah.
Miami defensive back. For those who don't know, one of the last great players that I say that he was like one of the last players to come out of Miami while they were still like in the national title picture every year, you know?
Yeah.
Next up is Manti Te'o, Notre Dame linebacker. Say what you want about the fake girlfriend and everything, but
Yeah.
dude was a Heisman finalist, right? So it's
He was good. Yeah.
he was the best
No
linebacker
hate.
that year.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
he was a good player.
He was I don't know if he'll get in first ballot or not, but we'll see. Then you have Richard Seymour out of Georgia, defensive tackle. Now that is a name you probably don't recognize as much because he was playing in the 90s.
Yeah.
So I don't even remember
I know
him.
the
But
name.
I mean, who doesn't? But of
Right.
Georgia
I
fans,
know the
right?
name.
But we never got to see him play. We didn't get to see him. I don't know if he'll get in this. Once again, it's one of those. I don't know if he'll get in this year or not. We'll see. That was one of Jim Donnan's boys. Like I said, we'll see. Next up, though, the opposite side of the line of scrimmage, Michael Orr. out of Ole Miss, offensive lineman. If there's an offensive lineman in this class that was better than him, I don't know who. I honestly do believe he will get in first ballot.
Oh, yeah.
Show the big boys some love. Show the big boys some love. You know?
Yeah.
Next is Marshawn Lynch from Cal. Obviously, I'm listing off names, and I'm listing off the universities they went to. I really shouldn't be listing off the positions because if you know them, you know them, right? But still, just out of respect, running back, you know?
Yeah. I don't know if. I mean, you would assume he could probably get in. He's probably. I don't know. It's a 50. It's a coin toss for me personally. I'm
Yeah.
not very familiar with his college game. Obviously, NFL. He was one of the best in recent history for that very short period of time. But I'm not very familiar with his college game. So.
Yep. Next up though is going to be Ryan Leaf of Wazoo as a obviously quarterback. For the younger people who don't know who that is he was drafted the same year as Peyton Manning. It was between Peyton and him. The Colts ended up liking Peyton just a little bit more. Ryan Leaf ended up going to the Chargers, and he became known as the second biggest bust of all time. Still, though, collegiately, dude was off the hook. Right?
I was fixing to say. Ironically, for him to be one of the biggest busts in NFL history, he's actually a pretty good college quarterback.
Oh, so. God, he was amazing.
Yeah.
I think if he had his attitude now, back when he first got he'd have been a perennial guy. But I would be shocked if he does not go first ballot. Just he put up the numbers he needed to. Next up is a name you're going to recognize as a wrestling fan, James Laurinaitis, who is linebacker from Ohio State. He's a three-time first-team All-American over at Ohio State, and he is currently a coach over at Ohio State still. Like I said, if you're a wrestling fan, you might recognize the name. But we won't talk about a scumbag uncle so much as we will talk about the fact this is Road Warrior Animal's son. So that's kind of cool, right?
Yeah.
Part of me is like, do they just look at the numbers, or do they look at how many times they were a first-team All-American? Do they look at what do they look at, right? Because I don't know. With coaches, it's pretty obvious. You have to have a certain winning percentage, and you have to have obviously won a good chunk of your games or revolutionize the sport. So I don't know if Laurinaitis gets in first ballot, but then again, first team All-American 3 times, 3 years. That's impressive. That's damn impressive. You don't see that happen often, it seems, especially not anymore. So I think he could sneak in on that first ballot. Next up, showing the special teams some love, Sebastian Janikowski, Florida State. Kicker. Place kicker. Doesn't matter. Dude scored points. Dude had a leg. Not just a power leg, but man always found a way to score when he needed to. if there's a kicker that goes in this year, it's going to be him.
Yeah.
And you know what I just realized?
What?
I don't know how many of these guys are on the ballot for the first time.
Yeah.
I've been saying first ballot this entire, like, are they first ballot? Oh. No, just I don't know.
It'll be
I didn't
alright.
look it up. I should have looked that up. My fault,
You'll be
y'all.
okay.
My fault. It's late. That is the story of this podcast. It's late.
Mm-hmm.
We're at it earlier than normal though on the late nights. So Deshaun Jackson, Cal, wide receiver. Next, this dude could easily go down as one of the greatest return men of all time. I say one of and not
Easily.
the best because the best would have to be Devin Hester. And that's just in the entirety of football if we're saying anything, right?
Right.
Anyways, I don't know if he gets in this year. Maybe a year or two down the road. Next up though, Mark Ingram, Alabama running back. I'd be shocked if he didn't get in, honestly, this year.
Yeah.
Like, just because
Yeah, I agree.
how much of a feel-good story would that be if he gets in the same year as Nick Saban? You know, one of Nick Saban's guys over at Alabama gets in with him.
Yeah, I agree.
But next up, a current coach, a former player, Josh Heupel, Oklahoma quarterback. Once again, one of those guys that's deserving. He led Oklahoma to a national championship. You know, just insanity to think about. He's also obviously the second coach on this list, and just realistically, it is insane to think about. He also won the Walter Camp Award, the AP College Football Player of the Year Award, the Archie Griffin Award, the Quarterback of the Year Award, the Chick Harley Award, and was a consensus All-American for the year 2000. Big 12 Offensive Player of the Year, Big 12 Offensive Newcomer of the Year in 99, first team All Big 12, 2000, second team All Big 12, 99. I should have just been pulling up their stat lines earlier. Cut that part out about the pulling up their stat lines earlier. God, I'm stupid. A sec for everything to reset. But yeah, no, Josh Heupel, really, really deserving, definitely, of being in the Hall of Fame. Just, yeah, you look at all these guys and they all deserve to be in there. That's the thing, right?
Yeah.
Next up is going to be Graham Harrell, who is the third, count 'em, current active coach, and he is the offensive coordinator and quarterbacks coach over at Purdue right now. I'll be honest, only thing he's got going for him is he has one first team All-American, and then he's got the Johnny Unitas Golden Arm Award from 2008 and the Sammy Baugh Trophy from 2007. He was also Sporting News Player of the Year in 2008. So I don't know. Just,
Yeah.
see. Yeah. If he gets in, it won't be this year, I don't think. Let's see. Next up is going to be Ken Dorsey from Miami. Who is the fourth coach on this list. You know who he coaches, right?
Nope.
He's the current offensive coordinator for the Cleveland Browns.
The
That's
Browns.
right. Yep. Now, for those of you who don't know, Ken Dorsey was a quarterback for Miami. He has a national championship, BCS national championship 2001. He got the Maxwell Award 2001. He got the Archie Griffin Award 2 years in a row, 01, 02. Quarterback of the Year in 01 and 02. The Chick Harley Award 01, 02. First team All-American 2002. Second team All-American 2001. A pretty daggum good little college career, ain't it?
Yeah.
Not just that, but he was also he was the last quarterback really for the relevant years of, the U. He was like the last one. And he finished as a finalist for the Heisman Trophy in 2001 and 2002. So like I've been saying, a lot of these guys are well worth it. It's hard to go and just say, oh, he needs to get in this year, he can go this year, or he can go next year, right? It's hard to do that because of what these guys do. Next up is oh boy, is going to be Aaron Donald, Pitt defensive tackle, who just retired this year from the NFL. Let's see. 2013. Oh boy. Let's see. 2013 was his year. He was a unanimous All-American. That's hard to come by sometimes. You'll have guys every now and then do it. ACC Defensive Player of the Year. He got the Bill Willis Trophy, the Outland Trophy, the Lombardi Award, the Chuck Bednarik Award, the Bronco Nagurski Award. He cleaned up. Any trophy that a lineman, any trophy that a defensive player or a lineman could possibly win, he won that year. Insanity, right?
Yeah.
So I think he gets in.
1,000%. Yeah.
I'd be shocked if he didn't. And then finally on this list, and sorry for it going slow, y'all. I'm pulling up things I should have on like standby, but I don't. Is going to be Dallas Clark, tight end out of Iowa. So the thing with him, he won the John Mackey Award, and he was a unanimous All-American in 2002. Obviously, he is... I would make the argument that as great as he was in college, he was better in the NFL, which happens a lot of the times. Although, I also can make the argument, or you can make the argument, that most tight ends during that time frame didn't get as much exposure until they got to the NFL.
Yeah. I mean, he was one of the best in the NFL anyways to do it, so Obviously, he was pretty good in college, too. So, I wouldn't be mad if he got in. I think he probably will, to be completely honest.
I wouldn't be mad if he got in either. Sorry.
Yeah. All right.
Anyway, I do want to say something real quick. Something that got pointed out to me. Anyone here who watches Late Kick knows that Josh Pate has been going on a crusade lately on Twitter. About whether or not Stetson Bennett deserves to be in the Hall of Fame. His argument is yes. Obviously, as Georgia fans, I think we're biased, and we will say yes. So I'll go and make the argument not for him, but for some names that won't ever be able to get in as the voting standards for the Hall of Fame are now. And so I don't know if you know this, but when you look at it, obviously Mike Leach won't be able to get in solely because of his win percentage was not high enough. He is 3 games short, 3 wins short,
Right.
Which is a travesty. But do you know another coach who won't get in? Pete Carroll.
No.
Pete Carroll will not be able to get in. 2-time national champion. Say what you want. 2-time national champion winning coach Pete Carroll will not be able to get in. Do you know a player?
I mean, what? Who?
Julio Jones won't be able to get in.
Why?
Let me see. I guarantee it's because he wasn't an All-American at one point or another.
That sounds like a skill issue.
We both know that's not a skill issue. That's a voting issue.
Sounds like a skill issue. I'm just saying.
Let's see. Yeah, so the whole thing is you have to be a first-team All-American to get in.
Julio Jones was never first-team All-American?
No, he was a second-team All-American in 2010.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it really is. It's insanity to think about. I'm fully supporting Josh Pate's crusade right now against the current regime, we should say.
Yeah.
So, yeah. I can't look at that and say, oh yeah, no, that makes perfect sense. These guys right here who have done all this, I just, the dude put up he put up over 1,100 yards at Alabama in the middle of the Death March offense. When it was run first, when it was like 60% run, 40% pass, and he put up 1,100 yards and he's not getting in.
And then it sounds like a skill issue.
Yeah, the voters' skills.
I didn't say it wasn't the voters' skills.
You just said skill issue, though. You just said skill issue like that.
It's a skill issue. It's a skill issue. I'm not saying whether it's a Julio Jones skill issue or a voter skill issue. It's just a skill issue. Somebody's an idiot.
Yes, agreed. Agreed. Somebody's an idiot.
That's what all boils down to.
Typically,
yeah.
Yes. If they could just change it to All-American, then we'd be good. Instead of, they have to be a first team. Do you know how many amazing players aren't in the Hall of Fame because of that? That's so stupid. That's so stupid. Moving on. Two of the big commits that have kind of sort of happened over the past week or two, they all kind of blend in at this point in time. I probably shouldn't say that, but is what it is. 5-star linebacker Zayden Walker committed to Georgia over schools like FSU, Miami, and South Carolina. Go figure. What was that?
Who?
I heard.
Oh, I didn't hear it.
Okay, never mind.
I think you're going
I'll
crazy,
restart.
son.
I guess so. Restarting in 3. Moving on to some commitment stuff that has happened. It's realistically only 2 names. These were kind of like the big names that happened, I guess. 5-star linebacker Zayden Walker committed to Georgia over FSU, Miami, and South Carolina. Go figure, Kirby Smart went and got another 5-star linebacker. Gee, I wonder how hard that was for him to do. You know? I saw a stat the other day. Chris Marler. I don't know why I called him, because his thing is Vern Funquist. His Twitter handle's Vern Funquist. Deadgum you, Chris. Chris Marler went and put out that I think in the past 3 classes there's been 9 5-star linebackers, and 4 of them have gone to Georgia, or something like that. And no other school has more than 1. It was something along those lines. I can't remember the time frame exactly, but it was 9 5-star linebackers. Georgia got 4 of them. No other school has 1 in that time frame.
Right.
I'm not shocked by that. I'm not shocked by that at all. Because if Kirby wants a 5-star linebacker, he's going. Let me rephrase that. If Glenn Schumann wants a 5-star linebacker, he's going to get that line. He's going to get that linebacker. It makes sense in a way. Moving on, though, 4-star running back Bo Jackson has committed to OSU over Georgia and Bama. Ohio State gets another offensive weapon. What else is there to say? Realistically, I as much as I want to talk about it, I feel like it would only really be worth talking about if a running back by the name of Bo Jackson had committed to Alabama, because then Auburn fans on Twitter would be losing their crap.
Yeah.
And that would be hilarious to watch.
Absolutely.
Exactly. It would have been hilarious to watch. That would have been, oh my gosh, that would have been an all-timer of a meltdown.
Yeah.
Now, granted, the odds of him going and emulating the original Bo is very, very low. Because Bo was a freak. I love Herschel Walker so much, right? But if you had to, and I'll say this. I will mark down Herschel Walker as the better running back of the 2. I'll say Bo was the better overall athlete, though.
Oh, yeah.
Now, I'll also make the argument that Herschel probably wasn't that far behind him, because Herschel was competing in MMA fights in his 50s, but it's Bo went on to be a major leaguer in baseball, so we'll leave that there. Moving on to a little bit of Colorado news and a little bit of Vegas news, if we're being honest, right? Colorado as of probably a week ago, maybe 4 or 5 days ago, currently, back then, they sat as the fourth most bet on team to win this CFP, according to Vegas. I'll let you lead this one because everyone knows my feelings on Colorado.
I mean, to play devil's advocate, it's a low risk, high reward bet. I mean, because the money line might be a little skewed now because they're the fourth most bet on team. But if you caught it early, it was probably not a bad bet because you're probably not going to lose a whole lot of money if they don't win it. But if they do win it, you're going to win big. So if you caught it early, it's not an awful bet. I don't think they're going to win it, but by some miracle, if they had pulled it off, you would have pulled off the heist of the century if you got this bet early enough. So, I can see why somebody might take a flyer bet on it, but being the fourth most bet on team to win the CFP is a little egregious because they're not that good. But
no,
I could see why some people would take that bet.
I want to hate on them so much, solely because of how arrogant Shador is. Right? It came out yesterday, I think, and said, "Oh, hey, I'm a mix between Michael Vick and Tom Brady," and no, you're not. No, you're not. You're not. You're nothing like either one of them. You're Shador, and as far as I'm concerned, right now, his mouth's cashing too many checks he can't cash just yet, or writing too many checks he can't cash just yet.
Right.
He'd be a whole lot more likable if he could learn to keep his mouth shut and go out there and play. There's a difference between cockiness and arrogance. Ride the line, or keep your mouth shut. I'll say this, because this also kind of plays into it. Joel Klatt earlier this week was going in, making an argument that if they wound up in the CFP, he doesn't think it's going to happen, but he wouldn't be shocked. And then you had some news outlets going out and saying, "Oh well, he says he thinks they can make it to the CFP." Like he said it, like, "Oh yeah, they'll make it there." He didn't. He was making the argument that with their schedule, they could end up sneaking in and winning the Big 12. Because you don't have Texas or Oklahoma there this year. I'd say right. Arizona would have been the favorite, right? And if they can somehow beat Utah, I can't believe I'm fixing to say this. If they can somehow find a way to beat Utah, they might be able to win the Big 12. And if they win the Big 12, that gets them into the CFP because they're the Big 12 champion. So, is it possible? Yes. Do I think they beat Utah, though? No.
Yeah.
No.
I mean, anything's possible, I guess.
Yeah, but I just... Speaking of, you know what the Utah-Colorado rivalry is called, right?
Nope.
Let's see. I gotta make sure I go and get this one right, because it is one heck of a name, and I'll dig into it a little bit more during the season once we hit rivalry week or whenever it is. But it's called the Rumble in the Rockies.
What?
It's called the Rumble in the Rockies.
Ah.
That's a good name. I'll give them that. I'll give them that. Oh, yeah. Yeah. anyways, moving on to our last topic of the night or day, depending on when you're watching this. NCAA has finally come down with a decision to allow schools to place corporate logos of corporate entities in the middle of their football fields in response to the House decision from a bit ago, where the House basically came down and said, hey, what's it called? They owe people money, right? They owe former players money now.
Reparations?
So, what's it? Not reimbursement. Is it reimbursement? Either way, they owe people money, so they're allowing schools to go and partner with corporate entities, put logos on the fields to make some extra cash, you know? So that being said, who do you think's going to give into it first?
Okay. Start that last bit over.
Damn it.
I have no idea. It's still recording. It just
I know.
froze for a second.
This has been a weird one.
Yeah.
I feel like, and this isn't, obviously this needs to get cut out. I feel like we go and it's easier and looser when we do that talking for an hour or something, right? We kind of loosen up. But I also know you're not necessarily. I know you're also not kind of like in the mood right now to go and sit here and talk about nothing and everything for an hour.
I'm just tired.
You're wanting this to get done, and I'm wanting this to get done because I gotta get to bed. So, oof. Well, we'll do this. So just the entire
that last
section.
I heard corporate logos because they're trying to get extra money to reimburse, and then you cut out. It's the last thing I heard.
Okay. I'll just restart the entire thing. I hate to be that way. Yeah. Also, there has been a slight delay. You can obviously probably tell. Because we've talked over each other a little bit. Try not to, obviously, but it happens. Moving on, the NCAA has gone and made a decision to allow football teams to go and place, not football teams, the universities themselves, to place corporate logos on their football fields. And this is so that the universities, the schools can make a bit more money to help reimburse, I guess, former players, former athletes, all that, because they're going to, because of the decision the House made a bit ago, where they, reparations, is that the word I'm looking for? Reimbursement or reparations, whichever word it is, that's the word, people. So that being said, which university do you think gives in first?
Colorado.
Oof. I could see that. I'll make a counterpoint though. Oregon gets most of its money from Nike anyway. So what's a few extra million to plaster the Nike logo on the football field, right?
Yeah, I could see that.
But I think if I remember correctly, I think I've heard somewhere that the founder of Victoria's Secret is actually an Ohio State alum. Could you imagine that on Ohio State's field?
That would be ironically beautiful.
It really would. That honestly hilarious. Let's see if I can find this. It will be hilarious, maybe. I'm going to try to find this by Roy and Gay Raymond. And let's see. Oh! Tufts University and Stanford Graduate School of Business. Huh. Well, let's see. No. Stanford, apparently.
That's even better.
Yeah, realistically, it is. Can you imagine that out at Stanford? Stanford.
Mm.
Gotta be careful with my accent. Could end up saying Sanford or Sanford or then Stanford. I heard Sanford's playing Stanford in Sanford. No, I feel like Georgia's Own Mutual is going to be on on Dooley Field in like a year or two at this point. And if not them, who do you think? Okay, let's go through some schools, okay? I want you to think about their possible ad partners, their possible corporate logos on their field. Let's start with, I'd say Iowa, but no one wants to go and throw money into that black hole. Let's start with Colorado.
Mm. I don't know. Off the top of my head. I'm trying to flat.
I mean, to be fair, Saban is retired. Can't go to Alabama for that one.
Mm-hmm.
I was thinking Gucci.
I was thinking like Gucci, Rolex, something like that. But like, does Gucci or Rolex really want to get into college football? Maybe. Who knows?
Okay. Next. How about USC?
USC. Aha. Aha. This is not work appropriate. But you know what I'm thinking. Every adult watching this knows exactly what I'm thinking. Is it ever gonna happen? No, but it would be hilarious, and it writes itself.
Text it to me, just so I know I'm thinking what you're thinking.
You
Just
know
text
what
it
I'm
to me
thinking.
real quick.
You know exactly what I'm thinking.
Just text me just so I'm doubly sure, because I'm thinking of something.
Yeah.
See, I was thinking of something else, right? And I'll say
What
it
were you
because they
thinking
sponsor
of?
so many different.
Okay.
I'll say it because they sponsor so many different videos on the web already on YouTube and everything. So I was thinking Adam and Eve for some reason.
Wow. Mine was better.
Yours was Trojan Man.
Yeah.
Hey, that's all. That's all we're saying.
Ooh.
That's all we're saying.
It's
We
just
ain't throwing out the trigger
immediately.
word for that.
No.
Okay,
It's the first thing that came to
next
my
up.
mind.
Hey, nothing wrong with it, right?
No.
Nothing wrong with it at all. Next up, Ohio State.
What's the biggest jail in the state of Ohio? Not to be insensitive.
I don't know.
It's just plaster the biggest state jail, state prison in Ohio, straight on Ohio State's field.
Let me actually look that up because that's interesting now. Jail and who knows, maybe we can ship Ohio State Penitentiary.
No,
Youngstown, Ohio.
that's great. All right,
No,
Ohio
no,
State
it's not.
Penitentiary.
No, it's not, because then they're going to start calling the horseshoe the penitentiary, the Ohio State fans will, and they'll get cocky about it. Oh, we call welcome to the penitentiary. You ain't the Usos, boys. Shut up.
God. Oh goodness.
Okay,
I have
final
one for
one.
you. Hold on. Okay, hold on. I got one for you. All right.
Okay, go for
Now
it.
I know what I know what I would put. All right. Indiana.
Indiana. Oh boy. Okay. Okay, this is. I don't know why, and this isn't going to be my main answer, right? But for
Mm-hmm.
some reason, I could see Pat McAfee getting a hair in his ass and trying to go and sponsor the field for a year. Be the first man. Pat McAfee Field
Indiana.
at Indiana.
Good
I
lord.
don't think it will. I don't think it will ever happen. But if there was ever a man who could just go and look at it and say, "Yeah, I'm crazy enough, Yenza, to do it," it's Pat McAfee.
Yeah.
Who are you thinking? I can't think of
Hooters.
anything. The Hoosiers.
Yeah.
Yes. They'll
Right?
probably stick closer to Florida where they're based, but that would be
Yeah,
amazing. The
but that would be
Hoosiers.
awesome.
Oh my gosh.
Absolutely. I love it.
That would be amazing.
Right.
That's an all timer right there, honestly. Wow. Hoosiers. Put it on a shirt. Probably get sued for that one. Maybe just
Maybe. Maybe just a bit.
maybe. Okay. Final one though for you. I'm trying to think of a good one. I think we're going to come back to this. This might be a recurring segment at this point. We'll have to write them
That's
down.
fine.
Who all we get so far? Ohio State, USC,
Colorado,
Indiana. And we're going to end it with let's stay in the Longhorn State. Or not stay, but move to the Longhorn State. And go with the Longhorns, Texas. That's 5.
Hear me out. Hear me
Boy,
out.
this is going to be a good one, ain't it?
Hear me out. Lamborghini.
Because of the Lamborghinis that were already lining up.
Because of Lamborghinis. Yeah, Lamborghini.
Okay. Now, I will counter that one with Tito's Vodka. Brewed in Austin. Brewed in Austin. Yeah. I'm pretty sure they're Texas alums. Why not? Right?
You know what would be even more cool?
What?
When you think of famous Texas alums, right? I think he's an alum anyways. Texas fan. Famous Texas fan, at the very least.
Matthew McConaughey?
Hear me out. Matthew McConaughey Field. All right.
I mean, he's probably got enough money to do that for at least 2 seasons.
Exactly. Just how cool would that be? Matthew McConaughey Field.
I mean, that's probably, let's face it, that's probably his wet dream.
Exactly.
Right? That would actually be pretty cool, honestly. I still like the idea of Tito's Vodka, though.
I don't hate it. No, I don't hate it at all.
So, but,
all right.
Anyways, I'll let you close. I gotta write down these names.
That's all, folks.
That's
all.
No,
Goodness.
It's a late night, people. We're sorry. We're trying to get them to the earlier points. Schedules have gotten changed around. We're at work. We're trying. It'll take us a few weeks to get back into the groove and to our earlier start times. So give us a bit. We'll get to it and we'll get on it. We promise. Till then, Bonner.
Yes.
Oh, I thought you had something to say before I hit him with a catchphrase.
I don't think so.
Well, to be fair, I thought I yapped on enough. Anyways, people, remember, till we see you next time, anything can happen on any given day, on any given play. See you next time.